Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to answer the question, which stock is the better buy, Amazon or Alibaba? I'm going to compare them across several critical metrics, so let's get right into it. Looking back at 2022, Alibaba's stock held up better than Amazon. Alibaba was down 25.84%, where Amazon was down 49.6%. The first thing I want to look at in terms of revenue is quarterly year-over-year growth, and looking at their history going back. Let's go back just 3 years here to before July of 2020. It looks like they're even for the most part. Alibaba had a couple of quarters where it was better than Amazon, and Amazon had a few quarters where it was better than Alibaba. And in the most recent quarter, Amazon had the edge of 14.7% versus negative 2% for Alibaba. But now that the Chinese economy is reopening, I wouldn't be surprised if over the next few quarters, Alibaba edges out Amazon in terms of revenue growth. And so let's move on to operating income and operating margin. On the top here, I have Alibaba and Amazon's operating income, and you can see again very close, and Amazon edging out for a few quarters here, but then Baba taking back over with a operating income of 3.7 billion, 3.67 billion compared to 2.5 billion. And then let's look at the operating profit margin, which takes away the scale differences, right? Of course, if you're a bigger business, your absolute level of operating income could be higher just because you're making more sales and at a bigger scale, more assets, right? So let's alleviate that by just looking at the operating margin over the trailing 12 months. And in this regard, Alibaba has long had the advantage over Amazon, although that advantage has narrowed in recent years. Still, Alibaba's most recent trailing 12 months operating margin of 11.5% was way better than Amazon's 2.58% operating profit margin. And Amazon's got a lot of headwinds in terms of operating profitability in the near term. They're slashing expenses, trying to bring those down, but it's going to take a few quarters for them to bring expenses down after overinvesting during the earlier stages of the pandemic. Alibaba doesn't really have those same overinvestment issues that Amazon does, and since China's economy is reopening, that's going to be a tailwind for Alibaba's profitability in the next few quarters. Next, let's look at Alibaba and Amazon's free cash flow yield. And just like the operating profitability margin, Alibaba is doing way better in terms of free cash flow yield, trending above Amazon going all the way back to before 2016, and that is accelerating in recent years. Alibaba's got a 7.4% free cash flow yield, its most recent update, and Amazon's negative 2.6%. Like I mentioned earlier, the overinvestment in capacity is really hurting Amazon over the last few quarters, and that will persist over at least the first couple of quarters in 2023. So, to finally answer the question, which stock is the better buy, Baba or AMZN, I'm going to look at their valuation, comparing them on price to earnings forward. And looking at this, Amazon trading at a forward PE of 60 is 4 times more expensive than Baba at 15. And then price to free cash flow is an even more dramatic difference. 239 price to free cash flow for Amazon and 13.46 for Baba. This is of course distorted because of Amazon's elevated investments in logistics and capacity, driving negative free cash flow over a couple of quarters. So the more informative metric I would say is the price to earnings forward, but still, even in this regard, Amazon is nearly 4 times more expensive. And given that Baba was better in free cash flow yield, operating profit margin, and better near-term prospects, I'm going to say the better buy for 2023 is Baba. So that's all I've got for this video. You've got your answer in which one is the better stock to buy for 2023. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.